This is Penny Keener, Stampin' Up! Independent Demonstrator and the original KeenerINKer. Today we're going to be making a Hooray to You birthday card using a baby wipe technique. We're using the Hooray to You birthday stamp set and the Tasteful label dies. We're going to be using this one right here. And for the colors, we're just using basic white and Magenta Madness cardstock. For ink pads, we're using Magenta Madness, Misty Moonlight, and So Saffron. And we're also using re-inkers. These happen to be our 2020 to 2022 in colors. So it's Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, and Misty Moonlight Stampin' Refills. And then for the sizes of cardstock we're going to be using, we have the basic white 3 by 3 quarters by 5 and 4 by 5 1/4, and also our base cardstock, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So to get started, I'm just going to take my base cardstock. I'm going to fold it where I have it scored and use my bone folder to get a nice crease. Then I'm going to take my Magenta Madness layer, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. And just line that up on there. Okay, then my base is ready and set aside. Now, in order to do the baby wipe technique, I like putting it in an empty case. That prevents it from the baby wipe and the wetness getting all over my projects. And I can, when it's all done, if I have ink on the bottom of it, just wipe it off and it's good to go. So in order to find out where I want to put my re-inkers, I'm going to take my big happy birthday balloon, because I want kind of like a tie-dye look, but I want it controlled because the happy birthday that's in the center, I want one solid color. So when I started doing this, I did the tie-dye on the baby wipe, and then I tried to use the Stampin' Right marker to color in the happy birthday. But it took a lot of work, and then I realized if I could control the color, then I didn't have to worry about that. I could do it all in one step. So because I want the happy birthday to be blue, I stamped it in the So Saffron on here so I know where to put the color. And I did a light color so that it will not bleed through with what I'm working on. All right, so I'm going to do happy birthday, kind of do a solid block where that is. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is randomly put my other colors where I want them. Again, I'm kind of going for a tie-dye effect. The re-inkers is something that you don't necessarily need right away when you order a stamp pad, but if you ever want to do some fun techniques like this, it's good to have them on hand. Also, if you do need to re-ink your stamp pad, it's good to have already ready. Okay, and so with my Just Jade, I'm going to kind of fill in some of those spots. Now, I can stamp quite a few cards with this, but if I leave this, close this up, and walk away, what's going to happen is it's going to bleed all together and end up as just one big blob. So you can stamp as many as you want right away and go from there. All right, so for my ribbon, I'm going to use that with my brown, because a brown on a balloon is just not the best thing, but I like to use all the in colors on certain projects, and this is a fantastic way for doing it. All right, so that looks like an absolute mess, and that's okay. The magic happens when you actually go to stamp it. So what I'm going to do is take my ink pad, not my ink pad, my stamp, and you can see where to line it up. So I'm going to kind of tap it just a few times, straight up and down, and then I'm going to stamp it onto my cardstock. All right, so do you see here where there's just a little bit, I'd like a little bit more color there? Well, I can certainly do that. All right, so I can set that one aside and I can do another one. This is a fantastic technique if you're making lots of cards. And by creating your own stamp pad, you can do whatever colors you wish. All right, isn't that beautiful? And I have my happy birthday in the blue, which I really like. All right, to finish this off, I'm going to stamp a couple extra flowers. I'm going to do one here and then one in the corners. And if I'm going to have ink out, I might as well do the envelope. So the in colors I always call, you know, like the Target colors, you know, the ones that you see very popular at a time. And I thought it was very cool that our postage stamp that I was able to get, I mean, it looks like it matches exactly. So how perfect is that? All right, so I have my envelope ready to go as well. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this onto my card base. I've already stamped my wording. Oop. Tried to go down faster than I wanted it to. Right up there. And then just to add a little bling, these are our basic rhinestones. So I'm going to put one in the center of each of these flowers. So you can see a very quick, easy card to make, and you can make as many of these as you want. So what's a balloon's least favorite activity? A pop quiz. Please check out my website and subscribe to my channel for quick videos on how you can be a keener inker too.